Show furnished by Karl Gerber and Employment Lawyers Group.
My job sucks, your job sucks, all jobs suck, all we...
Talk radio here, 790 KABC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber, and I guarantee you somebody in here tonight is going to mispronounce something. All right, here's your KABC quiz. Which of the following is true? Michael Jackson was born black. B, Michael Jackson was actually a reporter, talk show host at KABC from 1966 to 1998. Both answers are right. So let's get down to business. Another episode of our show here. And I've got someone in studio. Tonight we have a woman live in studio all the way from an integral part of the Inland Empire, the Riverside Beach Communities.
Beach community would be more accurate.
As many of the listeners know, but probably more of the class members of various certified class actions and PAGA actions know, I happen to have an office in Indiana Street in Riverside, so I'm a bit familiar with the geography.
Yes, Riverside is part of a larger empire, but by itself it is a hulking 7,200 square miles. Los Angeles County is less than 5,000 square miles.
But in my excursions against employers in Riverside and drives to various 951 locales, from which I first passed through the 626 and the 909, I haven't exactly chanced upon a beach community with the usual accoutrements of beach culture.
Oh, we have Merino Beach Drive in the Merino Valley.
Is that where we can find all the surf shops, bike rentals, and kitschy beach motels?
We have a Walmart and multiple few stucco strip malls.
I'm sure the geriatric surfers and beachcombers listening will correct me if I'm wrong, but I presume I could take a longboard out on the Mandalay Shores or even the Oxnard Shores because I have property in Mandalay Bay, Oxnard, but presumably I wouldn't be a welcome local at Merino Beach.
Merino Beach Drive, south of the 60 freeway, goes to the Paris Reservoir, an artificial lake created in 1973. Surface elevation, 1,563 feet, complete with Alessandro Island.
What does the water smell like?
Treated.
Now that we've clarified that little issue about you being from the beach community and it being a man-made beach with an island and treated water, I was told you were...
Here. Wear this.
Ow! Ow! You just stuck me. There's a pin in that badge. It's in my pulmonary vein. I'm bleeding. I love the microphone Dr. Drew uses.
You are not.
I'm bleeding, though.
Oh, he is bleeding a little.
I don't really want to wear a little round badge. Oh, I see there's weird little artwork on here that it can't be. That's a lemon drop and there's a baby skinlet without hair.
That's great. You've heard of the lemon drops and skinlets?
Unfortunately, Skinlet appeared on episode 23 of the show claiming religious discrimination. I made the best of it. Actually, he ended up singing, "Why Can't We Live Together?"
Everybody wants to live together. Why can't lemon drops and Republicans be together?
I suppose there could be Republican lemon drops.
Mr. Gerber, sorry to trouble you. Can I have the campaign badge back? We're actually on a very limited budget.
Oh, yeah, sure. Great. There's a huge hole in my OP shirt.
I pin whoever I meet. I don't always cut the people I pin.
Yeah, that's good to know. I guess that's what I get for wearing a 38-year-old shirt that has forever now been destroyed by blood and a hole made during the struggle.
The last guy I struck the particular badge's pin into was a poor elderly man suffering from MRSA. That is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, otherwise known as MRSA.
What the fentanyl? I can't afford to go to a nursing home. You think I'm a rich man? Actually, I've got a bunch of consecutive trials, and I can't be isolated for months treating for an infectious bacteria that may never go away.
I alcohol rubbed the pin after I stuck that guy.
I'm not really feeling any better.
Look, I think you need to get on with the show. The station will kill you if MSRA doesn't, if there's dead air time.
All I can muster up right now is, what's your name? It's not like anyone ever tells me the names of my guests, and if they did, I'm not sure I could do anything about it. I mean, after all, Skinlet, the Star Sisters, PJ BC the Third, a bunch of mental cases, and then the weird names like Dumas and Chap Shtick.
Alexandria Twalia Cesar.
What's that?
Me!
I'm not really sure why the Twalia. Your parents could have batted a third with Genghis or Khan. I don't think Nero would work.
My parents were considering Khan, but not after Genghis Khan. More like Chaka Khan.
Oh, that's too bad. Chaka Khan, she's a cool lady. Before a lot of people knew who she was, she attended civil rights assemblies, but she joined the Panthers.
The Panthers?
Yeah, Fred got her into the Black Panthers.
I didn't know that guy from last week's episode, Fred Lyons, was in the Black Panther movie.
Fred Lyons is a lifelong truant officer. Fred Hampton was a member of the Black Panthers, which is different from the movie. Sort of odd the movie took on that name. Anyway, Fred Hampton allegedly was killed in a conspiracy with the FBI in 1970. The murder was supposed to be justifiable homicide. The jury deadlocked. The case settled for more than $600,000 in 1982. Well, this is a little civil rights history because one aspect of employment discrimination is civil rights.
That's weird. I never heard of the Black Panthers, and my life is enmeshed in politics.
And I guess on this show, they never cease to amaze me.
I am more involved in politics at the local level.
I don't know, Alexandria. I think people under 55 or 60, or at least people growing up after the 70s, they lack a certain historical perspective, like Michael Jackson. But Black Lives Matters and all this ridiculous civil rights abuse with the unarmed people, that was the in thing until about 1970.
I'll have to do some reading on my phone when I get home.
No comment.
I need you to review my case.
You already have one?
I know I have a case. I know I have a case. Will you file it for me or not?
I just barely learned your name.
What's my name got to do with it?
I need facts. I might need to review documents. How can I tell you that you have a case if I don't know anything about it?
Good point. Good point.
Were you fired from your job?
Absolutely.
What is the reason they gave for your termination?
Well, Egdon Wiebes said if I took off work to vote, I'd be fired.
Egdon Wiebes? I recall he was a fictional character my brother created. He knew my cat Purr and was supposed to look like Ernie on My Three Sons. Purr coexisted with the lemur.
Well, Egdon Wiebes is all grown up now. I mean, he still eats a lot of eggs and, well, Blackhorn rim glasses have come back into fashion and he still wears them, but he's the president of the planning firm I worked for.
Did Egdon Wiebes fire you for taking off time to vote, or did he just make the frat?
Well, I came back into the office at 4:50. I left at 12:08 p.m. in 3 seconds. As you know, the Inland Empire is a rather large geography. Riverside County by itself is 180 miles east to west alone. My polling place was a 2-hour drive both ways.
What city was your office in?
Corona, of course. Conveniently located within the hub of the Empire. Up the 15 through the Jurupa Valley to the distribution center of Fontana, then the 10 through Ontario of the heart of the Inland Empire in San Bernardino, and a little to the west where it's Cisse. Rancho Cucamonga.
Alexandria, I thought you lived in the beach area of Moreno Valley. That's not a 2-hour drive. This isn't, North Hollywood, the Century City, like the poor woman Desiree on episode 22 who had to leave 5.25 hours just to get to her deposition.
I am registered in Hellhole Palms. Oh my God, I should not have said that on live radio.
Yeah, I happen to know that Hellhole Palms is not in the Inland Empire at all. It's part of San Diego County.
Almighty skinlet of the citrus, I am on my hind legs, raiseth to the mire lemon tree that reacheth towardeth you. I am enmeshed in local politics, but I voteth nowhere I liveth for my sins. I shall eat the sweet fruit of the Moby grape for a fortnight, not to be confused with the gameth fortnight.
Are you feeling any better?
A little. The election in Hellhole Palms was an important one. I had to rent a shack there without any plumbing just so I could vote as a resident.
I guess if you actually live there, it wasn't voter fraud.
180 long days and nights without electricity or running water? Had I not bathed in Lake Elsinore on my way into work every morning before the break of dawn, I don't know what.
Yeah, I do know what. You would have smelt.
Well, that too.
Oh, right. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I really am a lawyer, and I really do have offices in the Inland Empire. It's a big place, so I have two. If you want to call me, 909-663-2100. That's 909-663-2100. It's 909-663-2100 for the Ontario office. When we come back, we'll hear more. You've been listening to Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Credit products are made by WebBank. Rates and terms vary based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
How did I get into credit card debt? A trip to the emergency room.
Car repairs.
Moving expenses?
There's a million ways to get into credit card debt, but one sure way to start getting out. Avant. Avant offers access to online unsecured loans from $2,000 to $35,000 at competitive rates and no extra charges for paying back early. Over 500,000 customers have experienced the convenience of a loan through Avant. No wonder Avant has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. The application takes minutes, and if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time Monday through Friday, funds are deposited as soon as the next business day. And now Avant will also give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first payment is made on time. To check your loan options and to get this special radio offer, go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 3131 when applying. That's AVANT.com, promo code 3131. Avant.com, code 3131.
Hey there, I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more, like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick, Miss Lydia.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
This Halloween, make your house that house, the one that screams Halloween. The Home Depot can help with free delivery on all your online orders of spooky yard decor. Get life-size witches, posable skeletons, fierce-looking dragons, even zombie horses. Yeah, that's a thing. Give those trick-or-treaters the show they deserve and get free delivery on all your online Halloween orders. Only from the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Free delivery, no minimum purchase, valid online only.
Since 1993, the Employment Lawyers Group has been a consistent force in fighting for the rights of California employees. They've represented thousands of employees in cases in which they've lost their jobs, been sexually harassed, discriminated against at work, or owed wages individually or as a group such as a class action. The Employment Lawyers Group has maintained a high win rate and a serious record before the California courts. Please call 877-525-0700 for an experienced work lawyer. That's 877-525-0700. They have call takers standing by. Online, research the firm at worklawyerca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. If you hire the Employment Lawyers Group, your legal problem becomes theirs to solve.
My job sucks, your job sucks.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I'm really a real lawyer. And we've been talking to Alexandria Twalia Cesar. I guess she's really into politics. She's from the Inland Empire. I think she got fired from her job because of something political, but I'm not sure. We got to figure this one out. And, Alexandria, you're going to have to tell me more about the local election in Hellhole Palms.
Well, I could talk about that June 5th runoff for the assistant dope waxer all day long. Him versus her, him ahead of her, then her ahead of him in the runoff, and then the first recount, then the second.
I've been listening closely, very closely. I have to listen for the trace of an inconsistency or oftentimes a scintilla of a legal problem that must be magnified twice the size of full-grown skinlets. I recall you mentioned a single warehouse in Fontana, and I wanted to correct you because there are quite a few warehouses in Fontana, distribution centers. There's also Ontario, even Moreno Valley with distribution centers.
Oh, no. There's only one major warehouse in Fontana. It overshadows all the others. Coca-Cola, Trader Joe's, Smart & Final's Distribution Center, Target Distribution Center, the Walmart Distribution Center.
I've actually had cases against a lot of those. Why does one warehouse overshadow all these gigantic ones?
The product they ship at the one particular warehouse. Nothing compares.
Yeah, I followed the opening of the Walmart distribution center in Fontana. I've got clients there. It's 2.5 million square feet. The Target distribution, that little baby is about 1.6 million square feet. That's about 1,000 feet wide, 1,600 feet long. The Walmart one, I'd say, is 2,500 feet long, about a half a mile by 1,000 feet wide.
The warehouse in Fontana I'm thinking about is way bigger than the Walmart distribution center. Employs double the number of people.
Why haven't we heard of it? And why hasn't anybody heard of it?
Oh, but you have.
Did I have a case against them? Not NFI. I know they have warehouses all over the Inland Empire.
Not NFI. They only have something like 41.5 million square feet of warehouse space nationwide. But a healthy amount of space is in the Empire.
Stop beating around the bush here. Tell me about this gigantic defendant I should be suing.
I'd rather not say. It's embarrassing to talk about, especially on live radio.
How embarrassing can it be if this is the biggest warehouse or distribution center in Fontana, let alone the conglomerate of the Inland Empire?
There is this guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, but what about this mega warehouse? So big, I need them on my radar just in case they screw up.
The product they have is not normal. I really don't want to get into this.
Nothing about this show is normal.
Okay. This guy is a big celebrity. He made his fortune, he still makes his fortune, off a very personal product he puts out.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of guesses on this one. I can't see a Prozac warehouse taking up millions of square feet.
It isn't Prozac. I'm just going to see it. A bedroom toy in the shape of his... and the life-size doll.
Does this certain celebrity happen to live in Sun Valley, California?
As a matter of fact, he does. You know who he is, don't you?
Yeah, Remus Helmsman's brother, if you can believe it. They sat right where you're sitting on this very show.
No way. No way. That can't be. You can't be.
No, I never got him $200.1 million on that infringement case. It must have enabled him the golden endowment of selling himself, his thing, all over the world and operating the largest warehouse now we hear in Fontana.
And in the entire Inland Empire.
This all begs a very important question. Who is the emperor of the Inland Empire? No, not Colton Piano, NFI, Loma Linda University, not Mike Thompson RV, but the Remus Helms, the most important man in Sun Valley, and now known to listeners as the most important man in Fontana, California.
As a city planning firm, obviously, we aim to bring the biggest, and I mean biggest.
Alexandria, this is commercial radio. We have to be careful about what we say.
I didn't mean his, the thing that made Remus Helms famous.
Sorry, I don't know why, but for some reason when you were talking about size, hell, this is the Inland Empire show, so size could mean a lot of things.
Yes, of course. The Inland Empire. The Empire, of course. You know, it extends all the way from the outskirts of Pomona to the Nevada border. 4,850 square miles of empire, almost the size of Connecticut. Yes, there are some very big things in the empire.
How exactly does Remus Helms fit into that bigness? Gee, I wonder.
Heavens to Betsy. Now that you brought it up, his distribution center is humongous.
Given the products he sells, the bedroom toys, the doll, maybe there are weirdos out there still buying the kind of Blu-rays he sells. How much space could all that kinky merchandise take up?
Remus Helms' Fontana operation is a worldwide distribution center. Those devices go out to the women of the People's Republic of China, the Blu-rays to half the men in Mother Russia, and the dolls to Finland and beyond.
How do you know all this?
Local politics and working for the Empire's top planning firm.
Was it easy for Remus Helms to set up shop in Fontana? Or are they business-friendly to all businesses?
Naturally, he sought out my old firm. Like I mentioned, they are tops. The case was too important for anybody to work on, but egged and weavis. I made a few phone calls, though, and it was very discreet.
What all was involved in getting Remus Helms' worldwide distribution center up and running in the Empire?
I don't think we have time to explain it all, but the nature of his building was a problem. Yep, nobody wanted it.
So did he hire a famous architect or anything for his warehouse? And it was maybe too out of character for Fontana?
Out of character. I'd say that it's an understatement. The developer, $9 bill. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you've heard it or seen it on color TV development down the Palm Desert. It's all sold out. Anyway, $9 bill helped Remus Helms design the worldwide distribution center of smut.
Actually, we've covered the labor disputes at the As Seen on Color TV development Lisa Glickman was involved in.
Oh, really? Where can I hear those episodes?
Well, workplacelawyer.org. You can hear old episodes. YouTube, the Karl Gerber section of the KABC website, iTunes, any sound sharing site anybody uses.
For Remus Helms' worldwide distribution center, the $9 bill certainly had contributions, but the design was all Remus Helms. 100 foot wide at the east end, 5,000 feet long north to south, something circular on the bottom. Oh, God, it's so gross. It's gross. I hate passing by that thing. And imagine flying over it when touring the Empire.
Yeah, I think we should get more into that certain job termination when you left the office to vote. I just can't place why Remus Helms always seems to come up in these scripts.
I just know I have a good wrongful termination case.
The law isn't exactly what you think it is. What were your hours on the June election day?
I am exempt. Some days are 12-hour days. Others are 8. I also travel through the Empire.
One law actually in California election code inquires about whether the employee has sufficient time off before or after work to vote.
That's an easy one. Given my drive back and forth from Hellhole Palms to Corona, I didn't have time before or after work to vote.
Wait a minute. Was the election for the assistant dope waxer a statewide election or more of the hellhole of weirdness limited to Hellhole Palms and the odd fictional characters of this show?
Of course it was a fictional election. But dope waxer and his assistant, those are purely local offices.
Oh, that's it. Election code section 14,000, it only applies to statewide elections. Besides, you'd only be permitted 2 hours to vote in the middle of your workday if you couldn't vote after work.
There's no electricity in Hellhole Palms. How could anybody vote after sundown? It's a hole. Do you think any sun gets in there?
Yeah, you're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I am, unfortunately, Karl Gerber. I am a real workplace lawyer, and I have an Ontario and a Riverside office. And the Riverside office can be contacted for a real employment problem at 951-367-1000. That's 951-367-1000. Once again, 951-367-1000. I'm vibing. This lady got fired for voting. We got to figure out what the law is on that when we come back, because an election's coming up soon.
News. I like the way that they report the news.
Talk.
They're honest critics.
Evolve.
It's pretty thought-provoking and funny as hell.
790 KABC.
Talk Radio 790 KABC News Update. I'm Steve Cumming. The limousine crash that killed 20 people in upstate New York is the deadliest transportation-related accident in the U.S. since 2009. All of the 18 people inside the limo died, as well as 2 pedestrians. A hip-hop artist was gunned down early this morning in a New York City bar where he was hosting a birthday party.
37-year-old Frank Schneider, better known as Hollywood Play, was shot as he stepped out of the Tavern Lounge on Jamaica Avenue about 3:15 a.m. Someone in a car fired off the bullets that killed Hollywood. Police not sure if the gunfire was even meant for the rapper, who was well known in the community as a good guy who did things like fill backpacks with back-to-school supplies for kids who had no money. Police have made no arrests. Noam Layden, NBC News Radio, New York.
KABC SoCal weather, mostly clear tonight with lows in the mid-50s to lower 60s. More news coming up in 30 minutes, continuing coverage at KABC.com. I'm Steve Cumming, Talk Radio 790, KABC News.
Clear your calendars because the best time to discover your best hair is here. The Gorgeous Hair Event is back at Ulta Beauty. It's 3 weeks of daily beauty steals of up to 50% off the most loved brands like Redken, Living Proof, and Drybar. Check out deep conditioning masks for a frizz-free fall, flat irons for silky locks that never stop, and color boosters to keep you vibrant all season. But hurry in, the event ends October 20th, only at Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 1313 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 1313.
How would you like to legally turn your garage into a great apartment that you could rent out for money each month, turning your dust into dollars? Curious? Call 833-4-DREAM-LIFE now and tune in to Living the Dream with Sandy Dunkley every Saturday evening at 7 p.m. on KABC.
Hi, it's Alan Gervey.
And I'm Carrie Kasem.
Need some legal, moral, or just common sense advice?
Then tune in to Gervey's Law Saturdays at 2 when we open up the discussion and tackle difficult issues in law and life.
That's right. You've heard of Murphy's Law, but have you heard of Gervey's Law? Gervey's Law is that anything that can go wrong can also go right. And we go at it with some of the greatest legal minds in the country.
It's the intersection of law and life. Don't miss it Saturdays at 2 right here on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Take control of your life and your financial future. Tune in to Women, Money, and Power with Jason Reynolds and Carrie Kasem every Sunday morning at 7. That's Women, Money, and Power right here on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Since 1993, the Employment Lawyers Group has been a results-oriented law firm whose goal is to get the client what they deserve. They've represented thousands of California employees who've lost their jobs, been sexually harassed, subjected to employment discrimination, or were owed wages on an individualized or group basis, such as a class action. They have a high rate of success. There are few situations involving employment law that they have not confronted. At the forefront of employee rights, they're often the first employee law firm to confront a new legal issue. For an experienced employment lawyer, call 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. They have call takers standing by. Online, read more about the firm at employeelawca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. Make your work problem theirs to solve.
All jobs suck. all week long.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. Or listen to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. And I got to get control of my life, man. How can I get my hair back? When I'm going down the 210 freeway through the Empire, my hair is just blowing all over the place in my convertible. Maybe you can help me with this, Alexandria, but seriously, you got to get back to this dialogue here. I think she got fired from her job, and that might be important. There are other laws against firing employees due to employees engaging in political activities, Alexandria. Maybe Egdon Wiebes fired you more for engaging in political activities, or he felt he could coerce your politics by preventing you from casting a very important vote for the assistant dope waxer.
And damn! The latest count on the final runoff for the assistant dope waxer has the other candidate leading by 1 vote.
Wow, this does sound like a very contested election, but they're still recounting votes from June 5th? How many voters are there in Hellhole Palms anyways?
That is the thing. See, nobody actually lives there anymore. The last reported residents before me and him were there in 1958. Its remains were burned and demolished by the California State Division of Highways in late 1964, after your sister was born, to make room for Interstate 10.
Problem here. How could lots of people be voting in order to cause these recounts for months if there's no town and there are no residents?
Now it ain't so neat to admit defeat. They can see no reasons, 'cause there are no reasons. What reason do you need? Oh, tell me why we can bring back the peeps to Hellhole Palms.
Alexandria, you are evading the question. If there is no town and there are no peeps, who is voting in this election?
Me!
Then how is this a contested election?
Him! What's she gonna do about him? She's gonna have to ask him. It's him or it's me. There's only one assistant dope waxer for you. It's me or it's him.
Seems like we've heard that somewhere before. It might be a song. We've reached that happy place in one of these episodes where we can safely say our guest is worthy of the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I gather you're in a runoff election between one other person, presumably a he. How both of you vote in your own elections and have a runoff, I don't really get. But if the town was, please don't get upset, demolished and burned by the government, and there is now a freeway on top of it, where is there to perform these assistant, if not lead, dope waxing functions?
Where would the assist dope waxer work? No town? No more Hellhole Springs? All in Interstate? Can we take a break? I need a break.
I guess I'm raising some very real questions. Never thought about all this before.
Egdon Wiebes told me I'd never win any office. Not even the assistant dope waxer in a town that had to go underground. I converted. I became a lemon drop because they live below the ground.
No.
Do I look like a skinlet?
No.
I am the circle with a cross underneath version of a Homo sapien.
Why don't you pause and take a lemon drop for old time's sake? Let's explore this.
Whether I'm a circle with a cross underneath?
That I really don't care about. I rather meant your political ambitions.
My political ambition? I have so many. Someday I could be the lead dope waxer, even though the ho-ho of the hole. I know that sounds terrible. It isn't what you think. The ho-ho is the chief digger below the surface.
I don't really want to get off track, but you are, Are you or your constituents planning to live underneath the whatever? The three-way, the 10? I don't know.
Yeah, they already do.
When Skimlet came on, he told us about this nonsense about being from below the Los Angeles River in a different epoch of time. I figured it was a metaphor, or he was a little screwy in the head. A nice guy, though. We might do a duet for my youngest son's school around Halloween, but I just can't get into all this underground stuff.
How is the work of the ho-ho of the whole any different than, say, an underground nightclub in downtown Los Angeles during the 80s, before every moron with a dog and BMW decided it was hip to live amongst the homeless?
Well, that's a good point. I guess you got a point, but is it safe to live below the ground if you aren't a skinlet by birth?
No! Of course not! And I don't even think it's possible.
Alexandria, I have a question. What if you win the recount of one vote for you and one vote for him for assistant dope waxer? Can you really go underground?
Oh, sure. Lots of radicals went underground. Abby Hoffman, Bill Ayers of the Weathermen. If Patty Hearst could go underground, so can I.
Now, this is strange, for lack of a better word. You know so much about the fallout of 60s and 70s underground movements, but you thought the Black Panthers were a movie.
I have a master's degree in dissident politics from Swarthmore. I should have been elected to a real office years ago.
You know, the consult with an employee lawyer isn't really the time for life reassessment, although it usually happens that way.
Thegden Weebus just let me vote for myself.
Did he say your political choice was wrong? That's not legal.
He was my mentor. He taught me everything about the empire. I am from the Great Lakes, Michigan. I've never heard of the Inland Empire until he came out to Swarthmore to interview me when I was a senior in college.
I'm having a problem.
Are you experiencing symptoms of MSRA?
No. Swarthmore College is a college. They don't have a master's degree in political science.
They don't? You saying I am a fraud? I didn't say I got my master's degree from Swarthmore College in Pennsylvania. I said Swatmore. Swatmore. You in the insect region of the Inland
Empire. Makes sense.
You know the part of the Salton Sea that's in Riverside?
I don't think so. There's no place called Swatmore. And I'm sick and tired of you making all these jokes about my beloved Inland Empire, where I'm starting to wonder what your affiliation is with the beach community there.
My heart and soul is in the Inland Empire. Even if I am going underground in San Diego County, in Hellhole Palms no less, the only place I might get elected.
But, on the other hand, as the piles of shells amass on the former banks of the Salton Sea, the birds and the bugs come in mass, and I guess it would be a cheap place to build a really bad academic institute.
Hey! I heard there's been Salton Sea land in your family going in 70 years.
Maybe not that long. I'm not sure my father was willing to continue paying a couple bucks a year in property tax on that Gerber family asset.
That's too bad. I spent an entire summer campaigning to refill the Salton Sea. Return it to its glory. Rebuild the boathouse. Make it the next Palm Springs, but with water. Hey, maybe $9 bill could get something going there.
He's a $9 bill. That man could get something going with a fish that died of toxic dust along the banks of the Salton Sea. Say, did you know the Salton Sea lies in the middle of the San Andreas fault line?
That's just a rumor. A proven fact, but still a rumor.
Okay, peeps, we're going to be having to resume this titillating discussion. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I really do represent employees. Call me anywhere in California, 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700 for a real employment lawyer.
The Employment Lawyers Group is a results-driven law firm whose goal is to get the right result for the client. They have represented employees with a high rate of success since 1993 throughout the state of California. They're only paid and if they are able to collect money from the employer, so there's not any upfront fees or costs in order to hire them. They have represented thousands of employees who've been terminated from their jobs, sexually harassed, subjected to employment discrimination, or are owed wages in an individualized or group basis such as a class action. Call 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. They have operators standing by. They can also be reached at employeelawca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. Hire them and make your workplace problem theirs to solve.
Right now at CVS Pharmacy, you can earn up to 50 extra bucks rewards each year just for filling prescriptions. Which means the medicines you take to stay healthy might also do a little something for the health of your wallet. So visit your local CVS Pharmacy to sign up and start earning up to 50 extra bucks rewards on prescriptions. Terms and conditions apply. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other state restrictions apply. See cvs.com/RX rewards or the pharmacy for details.
You started a DIY project at home. Then you realize convenience isn't always easy. The why in DIY doesn't mean why is this so hard. At ADT, we DIFY. Do it for you. We customize and install a secure smart home that you control from the palm of your hand or the sound of your voice. Smart security, designed and installed just for you with ADT. Visit ADT.com/smart to learn more. License information available at ADT.com. ADT. Real protection.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
The national debt is now over $20 trillion. What happens next? Rising inflation drops into the dollar's value. Some experts say another crash is coming. You can fight this, not with stocks or bonds, but with gold and silver coins in an IRA from Augusta Precious Metals. Call 855-858-5807 and learn how an IRA backed by physical gold and silver can hedge against inflation. Call Augusta Precious Metals right now at 855-858-5807 and get a free gold IRA guide. Call 855-858-5807.
They chew up the furniture. Don't do that. Bark uncontrollably. Get it, it's just the mailman. And make us pick up their waste in public. Still, we love them unconditionally. Fall in love with your next furry little friend at the Subaru Loves Pets Pet Adoption Saturday, October 13th from 10 to 4 at the SPCA LA in Long Beach. 790 KABC will be there, along with dozens of adorable companions in search of a forever home. Be one of the first 100 to adopt and receive a free Subaru Loves Pets parent pack. At Subaru, they believe pets help make the world a better place. And we couldn't agree more. The Subaru Loves Pets Pet Adoption, Saturday, October 13th. For more info, go to KABC.com. Brought to you by the all-new 3-row 2019 Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Your job sucks. All jobs suck.
Oh, boy, does my job suck here, but this is Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber, and boy, do I need a secure home. But I've got something going on with ADT right now. Not the kind of thing like Remus Helms, guys. We're getting the callers we need tonight. We have a live UFO sighting caller, but we're not going to be able to take that. Maybe next time. We've got to get back to our little dialogue here. Not to change the subject, Alexandria, but I find the phrase dope waxer a bit redundant?
I didn't make up the term.
Maybe not, but seriously, you're running for that office, and what's a dope waxer anyways? Wax has a certain 420 meaning, and so does dope. But then again, I made a flyer for the show that asked the older peeps if they're hip, and we put dope in parentheses. Maybe this dope waxer is a hipster waxer, but why elect somebody to assist with cannabis oil?
Mr. Gerber, can you explain that again? What dope waxer means? The only reason why I ran for it was because it was the easiest office to win.
Why would you run for a political office if you had no idea what was involved? Sorry, stupid question these days.
Egdon Weebus encouraged me to run for a council seat in the dynamic Inland Empire community, the city of Moreno Valley.
What's so dynamic about the city?
I am reading California Labor Code Section 1101. Egdon Weebus tried to prevent me from becoming a candidate for political office when he fired me for rushing out of work to vote in the election. He had no right to insist I consider running for a council seat in the dynamic community of Moreno Valley, where I would be one of 3 council members considering matters of importance to my community on a daily basis, making the lives of the Inland Empire residents of the Moreno Valley better, improving the schools, making the parks beautiful, negotiating with a new business that would prove jobs to thousands. Actually, wouldn't that have been better than fighting over an underground political position in an election with only 2 votes?
This is an interesting one, because if Egdon Weebus was your mentor and wanted you to pursue a legitimate political office, that would actually make a difference, opposed to you joining a fictional group of people called the Skinlets or Lemon Drops and going underground for a political office of unknown duties and no importance. This might not be cohesion on politics, but sound advice to somebody Weebus mentored.
Although the assistant dope waxer is a nonpartisan office, it's still a political position. Egdon Weebus judged me. He judged my political choice.
Maybe.
Working in planning is a political job. We might represent a developer fighting against a farmer or people who want farming. We're always working with city officials. How does the law work in terms of talking about politics at work?
The laws are primarily concerned with coercing or influencing a political agenda through a threat or being fired or controlling an employee's political beliefs or preventing someone from running for a political office.
These days, everybody is talking about politics at work. What if the manager or the owner of the company gets in a discussion and starts a fight with somebody he or she doesn't agree with?
If the end result of the fight is the person who disagreed with the owner feels they should start agreeing with the owner's version of politics, that's illegal.
What if we're debating whether we should represent a developer because he's going to knock down a historical monument?
Yeah, there's some real gems on Route 66 and even downtown Riverside and the Kimberly-Clark Mansion in Redding, but given your nature of work and the ability to reject the client, this is an interesting issue. It's sort of like religion. 2 teachers talking about the dogma of Christianity at a religious high school, that's not really improper. But if you work in politics, talking about political issues relevant to your job, that's not problematic per se.
Everybody's talking about the drunk preppy dude who was involved in the consensual aspect of the whole risky business thing, and that professor. Everybody has an opinion. Should they talk about it at work?
Yeah, I'm a little taken back given your political prowess, but you're so vague on the names of the parties. In the old days, it used to be considered a bad idea to talk about politics at work, but now everything is heated, and the bottom line is people can't coerce or influence with threats. Technically, one employee on the same level as another employee could threaten to kick the other employees you-know-what if they didn't change their political party, and the job termination would be, that would be valid as a wrongful termination case because there were threats as physical violence. But otherwise, the laws require the employer to be acting improperly, and they'd be doing that through supervisors or higher level employees, policies, or ratifying the behavior of a lower level employee.
A lot of the peeps In the Empire? See, it's just the news. Just talking about the news, but it is political.
Presently, millennials comprise the largest part of the workforce. The last time the young generation composed the majority, we had 15 years of turmoil and an unpopular president for 6 of those years. This isn't really any different now.
Are there a lot of cases of people being fired for expressing their political ideas, not wanting to be dissuaded from their political beliefs, not being allowed to vote?
Actually, they're exceedingly few. I wonder if in places with mixed populations we'll see a rise in those cases. I can't imagine everyone is on the same page in Empire, let alone Bakersfield, where there are quite a few Latinos coexisting with supporters of you-know-who.
Yeah, speaking of Latinas, at least my best friend is Rosa Santos, Rosenstein's older sister. She works at the ice skating rink at the Laurel Plaza Mall. She's an hourly, non-exempt employee. The ice chalet paid her 2 hours of pay because she couldn't get away from work to vote. She said that's the law.
This raises quite a few questions. The first is which the place has been closed since 1994.
It has? It's not open?
The mall portion of the Laurel Plaza Mall was leveled years ago, paved over, and then who knows what in order to make a massive development across the street from a thriving homeless park by the 173 way and a street line with sex offenders living in RVs who don't want to register.
Demolished? Paved over? Why? But why?
I cannot really reconcile your feelings for a Southern California institution that pre-existed before your residency here, but at present I'll read to you a little bit of California Election Code 14,000, which is a confusing statute. If the voter does not have sufficient time outside of working hours to vote at a statewide election, the voter may, without loss of pay, take off enough working time that, when added to the voting time available outside of the working hours, will enable the voter to vote. This is a really confusing statute. It's horribly confusing. I don't know if an employee can even leave in the middle of a shift under this statute. There's lots of unreasonable notice provisions in here, too. There's this thing of if the employee on the third working day prior to the day of the election knows he has reason to believe that time off will be necessary to be able to vote on election day, the employee shall give the employer at least 2 working days and then off of voting in accordance with the section. Ooh, weird.
I thought you were an expert on employment law. Can't you help somebody understand what that horrible statute says?
If I could, would I be on this show? Nah.
I remember learning at Swarthmore, undergrad, that is, cases might interpret a statute. Was there a case the listeners could read that would explain what the statute means?
And if there was, do you think I'd tell you, the listeners? Well, maybe, but maybe not. Yeah, I think not.
Can I see your Westlaw account?
Of course not. I can't freely distribute that password.
Pretty please, with a California roll on top of a grapefruit roll, can you tell me more about California Election Code Section 14,000?
Yeah, sure. Now that you said it that way, Section 14,400 was repealed, and I think the code got renumbered 14,000.
Is that all you're going to say?
Motivate me.
Rosa Santos Rosenstein's older sister worked at Ice Chalet at the same time as Starlight's conception in the Radio Shack next door.
Contradicts what you said earlier, but I'm a little more motivated to talk about Section 14,000. But we've heard so much about that videotape conception already. We're sick of it. Okay, it was clear under 14,400 that 2 hours off was allowed to vote.
Are there published legal cases on this election code section 14,000? And I know how the videotape was done.
Had that conception not occurred, perhaps Anita Orchid Helms would not have died of boredom at work. That doesn't score any points, but I will tell you there's one published case.
Wow, that's a disappointment. I expected everybody was suing for being denied time off to vote. Or because nobody could figure out what the statute meant, or just because it's an election code. Wow, an election code! I bet there are a lot of those! Wait, I'm getting a text. Is it okay to look? I mean, I guess that's rude.
Yeah, this is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I'm willing to discuss real wrongful termination cases if you call me at the office at 877-525-0700. Anywhere in California, 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525 for 525-0700, that is, for a real workplace lawyer. And I hope you don't have an abusive week coming up at work, but if you do, I think you know where to call, and I hope to have you listening next week, same time, on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show on Talk Radio 790 KABC. Thank you for listening.
This show furnished by Karl Gerber and Employment Lawyers Group.